The road stretched out before me, a winding path through the darkness. The events that had unfolded since Sarah's loss had left an indelible mark on my soul. Yet the quest for answers drove me forward, propelling me deeper into the heart of the unknown. In the silence of the night, the whispers grew louder, invading my thoughts like insidious tendrils. They taunted me, their spectral voices weaving a tapestry of fear and doubt. I questioned my sanity, wondering if the darkness had claimed not only my daughter, but also my mind. Each night, as I sought refuge in an abandoned house, the whispers intensified. They seeped through the cracks in the walls, their haunting melodies filling the air. Sleep became an elusive dream, for the whispers refused to grant me respite. One night, as I lay on a musty mattress, the whispers seemed to emanate from within the room. They wrapped around me like a suffocating fog, their words muffled yet laden with a malevolence that sent chills down my spine. I clutched Bertie's shoebox close to my chest, seeking solace in its presence. In the depths of my despair, a fragment of a message pierced through the cacophony of voices. "They watch you," it whispered, barely audible but unmistakable. "Beware the eyes that see through the darkness." My heart skipped a beat, my breath catching in my throat. Who were they? And what did it mean to see through the darkness? The pieces of the puzzle began to assemble in my mind, a revelation both chilling and tantalizing. The next morning, fueled by a newfound determination, I resumed my journey. The road twisted and turned, its twists mirroring the enigma that lay before me. The whispers persisted, their ethereal presence a constant reminder of the unseen forces at work. As I walked, I noticed peculiar signs along the way, symbols etched into trees, cryptic messages scrawled on abandoned buildings. They seemed to guide me, urging me forward on my quest. I deciphered their meaning, piecing together a map of clues that led me closer to the truth. The path veered towards a desolate town, its dilapidated structures exuding an air of mystery. I cautiously entered, my senses on high alert. The silence was deafening, a vacuum of sound that pressed against my eardrums. Every step reverberated through the empty streets, amplifying my own presence. In the heart of the town, I discovered a crumbling church, its stained glass windows shattered, casting fractured rainbows upon the worn pews. A sense of foreboding settled over me as I stepped inside. The air was heavy, thick with an unseen presence that made the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. A flickering candle caught my eye, its feeble flame dancing against the encroaching darkness. I approached it, drawn to its wavering glow. As I gazed into the flickering light, I saw movement in the corner of my eye, a shadowy figure standing in the farthest pew. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest. The figure was barely discernible, cloaked in darkness. Yet, its eyes burned with an otherworldly light, piercing through the gloom. I could feel its gaze upon me, a weight that threatened to unravel my very being. A surge of adrenaline coursed through my veins, overriding my fear. I summoned my courage, my voice quivering as I spoke into the cavernous silence. "Who are you?" I called out, my words echoing through the empty church. In response, a low, gravelly chuckle emanated from the shadowy figure. It slinked forward, revealing itself to be a woman draped in tattered robes, her eyes smoldering with an intensity that sent shivers down my spine. "Seeker of truth," she hissed, her voice laced with a sinister melody. "Beware the eyes that see through the darkness, for they hold the power to reveal the secrets of this world." Her words hung in the air, pregnant with a dreadful weight. I knew then that the answers I sought lay within those eyes, eyes that pierced through the veils of deception. It was a revelation both terrifying and exhilarating. The woman's words lingered in the air, a sinister echo that resonated within me. The power of the eyes that see through the darkness ignited a newfound sense of purpose. I had to find those eyes, uncover their secrets, and shed light on the enigma that had enveloped our world. With trepidation and curiosity entwined, I followed the woman. Her steps were measured, deliberate, leading me through winding alleys and desolate streets. The remnants of the town whispered tales of forgotten lives, their silent cries urging me to press forward. Finally, we arrived at a hidden enclave, a dilapidated building nestled away from prying eyes. It was the refuge of the lost ones, those who had forsaken their humanity in a desperate attempt to survive. Fear and caution gripped me as I approached the entrance, unsure of what lay beyond. The door creaked open, revealing a chamber cloaked in darkness. As I stepped inside, the acrid stench of decay assaulted my senses. Shadows danced on the walls, casting eerie silhouettes of figures huddled together. They regarded me with hollow eyes, their faces etched with despair. Their leader, a man named Ethan, stepped forward, his voice a whisper carried by the wind. "Welcome, seeker of truth. We are the lost ones, survivors in this sea of darkness. We have made sacrifices to protect ourselves, to ensure our survival." I couldn't help but recoil at the desperation in his voice, the depths to which they had sunk to preserve their own lives. The lost ones had embraced the darkness, believing it to be their only salvation. But I knew their actions came at a great cost, a cost I refused to bear. Ethan gestured toward a darkened corner of the chamber. "Behold," he said, his voice tinged with a mix of reverence and fear, "the eyes of revelation." My heart quickened as I approached the corner. There, in a small, ornate box, lay two eyes preserved in a crystalline substance. They shimmered with an otherworldly luminescence, their gaze fixed and penetrating. It was a sight both mesmerizing and unsettling, their power palpable. "The eyes," Ethan continued, "are said to possess the ability to see beyond the physical realm, to pierce through the darkness that blinds us. They hold the secrets of this twisted world, secrets that we, the lost ones, have sought to harness for our own survival." A surge of determination coursed through me. I had come too far to be swayed by their misguided quest for control. These eyes were not meant to be used for personal gain, but rather to illuminate the truth and bring justice to the fallen. "I will not let the darkness consume me," I declared, my voice firm. "These eyes are not tools of manipulation, but beacons of revelation. I will use them to expose the malevolence that lurks in the shadows and seek justice for those who have suffered." A murmur of dissent rippled through the chamber, but I paid it no mind. I took hold of the eyes of revelation, feeling their weight in my hands. They pulsed with an otherworldly energy, resonating with a power that beckoned me forward. With the eyes in my possession, I bid farewell to the lost ones, their faces twisted with resentment and desperation, a stark reminder of the lengths they had gone to survive. But I knew that true survival came not from embracing the darkness, but from confronting it head-on. As I ventured out into the night, the eyes of revelation held close to my heart. I felt a renewed sense of purpose. The path ahead would be treacherous, fraught with danger and uncertainty. But armed with the power to see through the darkness, I was ready to face whatever lay in wait. The eyes of revelation pulsed with an otherworldly energy as I ventured deeper into the heart of darkness. Their presence offered me a glimmer of hope, a newfound clarity amidst the chaos. With each step, I felt a growing anticipation, a sense that I was drawing closer to the truth that had eluded me for so long. As I walked through the desolate streets, the world seemed to hold its breath. Shadows danced in the corners of my vision, their movements elusive and enigmatic. The whispers that had haunted me faded into a distant hum, replaced by an eerie silence that made my skin crawl. Then, I heard it. A soft rustling, a barely audible sigh carried on the wind. Instinct took over as I ducked behind a crumbling wall, my senses heightened. I peered through the darkness, searching for the source of the sound, my grip tightening on the eyes of revelation. Suddenly, figures emerged from the gloom, their silhouettes swaying in an ethereal dance. The creatures, drawn by the eye's potent energy, surrounded me with their presence. Their eyes, void of light, stared into my very soul, as if trying to pierce the secrets I held within. But I stood my ground, emboldened by the power of the eyes. With a newfound clarity, I could see through their veiled attempts at intimidation. They were mere pawns, extensions of the ancient entity that had plunged the world into darkness, and I was determined to confront that entity head-on. As I moved forward, the creatures recoiled, sensing the strength of the eyes. I pressed on, guided by an invisible force that pulled me deeper into the heart of the enigma. The path grew treacherous, twisting and turning like a labyrinth of nightmares, but I pressed on, undeterred. Eventually, I arrived at an abandoned asylum, a place steeped in darkness, its walls oozing with a malevolence that made my skin crawl. The air was heavy, suffused with the lingering remnants of pain and suffering. With each step, I could feel the weight of the building's history bearing down upon me. I entered the asylum, my footsteps echoing in the oppressive silence. The flickering light of my flashlight cast eerie shadows, revealing forgotten corridors and decrepit cells. It was a place that housed both physical and metaphorical darkness, a reflection of the world outside. As I explored further, a sense of foreboding settled over me. Whispers, distorted and haunting, echoed through the hallways. They beckoned me forward, their seductive call weaving through the fabric of my consciousness. I knew I was being lured into a trap, yet the power of the eyes compelled me to push forward. In the depths of the asylum, I stumbled upon a chamber shrouded in darkness. Within its confines, a group of survivors huddled together, their faces twisted by desperation. The air crackled with tension as their eyes met mine, suspicion and fear etched into their features. One among them, a woman named Lydia, stepped forward. Her voice was laced with bitterness as she spoke, her words dripping with an undercurrent of deceit. "You think you can challenge the darkness, but you are but a fool," she spat. "The eyes of revelation have brought only death and despair. They are not a gift, but a curse." I stood my ground, the weight of the eyes in my hand grounding me. "You misunderstand," I countered. "The eyes hold the power to expose the true nature of the darkness that plagues us. They are a beacon of truth, a means to seek justice and redemption." Lydia's eyes narrowed, her expression hardened. "Justice and redemption?" she scoffed. "There is no justice in this world, only survival. We, the lost ones, have learned that the hard way, and we will stop at nothing to protect ourselves, even if it means sacrificing the likes of you." In that moment, the chamber erupted into chaos. The lost ones, consumed by fear and desperation, lunged towards me, their eyes filled with a twisted determination. I fought back, wielding the power of the eyes to fend off their attacks. But betrayal cut deep, and my heart ached at the loss of trust and unity. As the battle raged on, I managed to break free, leaving the chamber behind. Bloodied and battered, I realized that the path to the entity that had plunged the world into darkness would not be an easy one, but I was undeterred. The eyes of revelation burned brighter than ever, guiding me towards a confrontation that would define our fate.